Alright guys, welcome to another video. Before we get into things, let me quickly shout out my MetaFi. I recently updated all of these decks right after Christmas. They're ready to take down your next tournament. And of course, I have to shout out Sensei Inf's Is It Delver guide that is included with your Booksmart Baron membership. If you upgrade to that, you will have access to all of my stuff over on MetaFi. You can do so by using code ECO50 for a nice discount on your first month. Give it a go, see if you like it. That's going to be it. Let's get back into the video. All right. Dimir tempo in the current landscape has been a little bit hard for me to build. My current version has been cutting a lot of corners. I'm down another Goyf. I'm down a Bauble. I'm fitting a couple of hymns. I only play 3 Ponders. I have 3 Bowmasters. And this way I kind of get to fit everything without overdrawing a card like Hymn or overdrawing a card like Nethergoyf when it's a little bit unexciting, and I still have the baubles to keep the deck smooth and grow some Goyfs. Other than that, very, very standard main deck. It's worth noting that you have to fetch a few more duels when you're playing with Hymn to Torg in your deck, so let's see if that comes up. Sideboard is the new situation here, because I think it's time to try out only running 2 consigns. Going down to 2 consigns here. I could even see going down to 1 Hydroblast, but I've kept 2 Hydroblasts. Sneak Attack is coming back a little bit. Is it Delver's always in the bushes? You know, various Storm decks, Prison decks, all of those combined, I think it's fine. Even some versions of Energy. Hydroblast is going to be good against negations. Very stock for me. So is 2 Surgicals against Graveyard, 2 Barragoyf when things get grindy. But now the new stuff is essentially 2 Cups of Toxic Deluge. I think with Cradle Control, Energy, you know, it has utility against Affinity. Maybe you play against Death and Taxes. I think 2 Cups of Toxic Deluge is a cool thing to try out if you like an Explosives in the slot in order to, you know, also kill Chalice, as well as having a, let's call it a situational sweeper. That certainly works as well. I've been loving Mystical Dispute. Mystical Dispute, so good against, you know, Murktide Regen, Show and Tell, Stock Up, that type of situation. Then the free removal and Snuff out here. That's going to shine against Eldrazi. That's going to shine in the early turns. It's going to kill Murktide, no questions asked. And it's just a solid tempo play if you can draw it early. We cannot go too high on that effect, though, because we are a deck that also wants Deluge in some of those matchups, and maybe we still have Thoughtseize. So that card is great, but there's a limit to how much life loss you can put in your Legacy deck. Sheldred's Edict, the flexible card that kills, you know, opposing Kaito specifically. And just, yeah, flexible removal that hopefully can kill the opponent's best creature when I need it to. Yeah, talking about Kaito, that's kind of the main reason to play this deck, so I still want to keep the 1-drops in the deck. Let's see if my cutting corners and trying to fit everything approach can get the job done in some games. All right, round 1, I'm on the draw here with Dimir Tempo. This hand looks great. Let's see. Oh, Storm Chaser's Talon, that's a cool one. That card is fine, and now let's see about my draw. Okay, that removal spell is good. I think I'll try and get a little lucky here, working on my opponent's mana base. Storm Chaser's Talent. A little bit curious what kind of deck we're looking at, if we're looking at some Beans deck or what have we. Okay. So now I should probably be playing my Nethergoyf off an Underground Sea, so Daze is live. In general, Tundra matchups, not what I want to see with this deck. Nethergoyf being a 1/2 here, not too helpful. When it comes to the Otter, you know, they play an instant, they grow it, sure I can Daze, but then, you know, they might have another. Let's see if the game slows down here. This could be a removal spell onto the Nethergoyf, and then followed by a Wasteland. So they play a Wasteland out first because they didn't want to get dazed. That makes a lot of sense. So maybe I'm supposed to craft a plan around Kaito here. If I force here, my opponent can't attack. That's kind of a cool bonus as well. Okay, I'm going to try and keep the Nethergoyf in play here. Let's see how that works out for me. I expect the Wasteland... Ooh, the Wasteland does not get fired. That is super interesting. So, can I do any cool things here? Bouncing the Otter. That's probably going to be better than pushing the Otter. Which land incentivizes my opponent to not waste? Feel like that's fetching Underground Sea. So now, would I want to get force negated here? I don't think I would mind that, actually. Because I could have attacked here. There's no way my opponent blocks, and then do it on the opponent's turn, right? Okay, so the opponent's in the game. They need a good play now, otherwise Kaito is gonna do it to him. Let's see if this works. Playing out my third land. If my opponent's heads up, they wasteland me here. This is where they need to wasteland, but they don't. Okay, well, that is Kaito territory. So it looks like my opponent will have a dog end of turn with the way they played here. I guess let's draw. They want me to make my decision here, probably. Or they're going to play the Felia now. I do like getting Kaito going, but I also understand that Felia, Riddler stuff can happen. Here's Daze. Not a card I'm necessarily too excited about. Let's try and think about how this plays out. Why did the opponent want that land? To play around Daze, probably. Maybe the card is fine, and then my next turn is something like push, Nether, Goyf, Ponder. Let's try and draw the Daze, see what happens. All right. You're up, opponent. Let's see what you got. So what happens here? Okay, they blink this one at the very least to get a token. Here's Quantum Riddler. So now they get to keep a Riddler in play. This is very powerful. Okay. So I thought I played gotcha with my Kaito. But in reality, the opponent played gotcha with the Riddler. Here comes the Riddler. The opponent draws a card. So now I can keep the Riddler down. Kill the dog. I mean, I have some good plays here. Let's play the Ponder first, see our options. I guess Brazen Borrower would be the nuts, because then I bounce the Riddler. Attack, draw. Push the Felia. It's always good to think about reasons to cantrip first, reasons to cantrip last. Murktide Regent will outgrow the Riddler soon enough. So I don't think I can play this turn, though. But I could play double. I could do something like double Nether Goyf this turn and go, let's see, like this, like this, like this. Maybe I botched the order now. Let's try and kill that. And now should probably lock this down. Stun the Riddler. And now the thing is, do I need the Murktide? I probably do need the Murktide, but I would also love these boys. Alright, I'll try and smell blood in the water here. Let's see how that works out for him. Double Nether Goyf. I have a questionable daze in hand. And I get dazed on that card. That's actually quite terrible. All right. I now have a 5/6 with a 3/1 coming. Riddler does not untap next turn either. This is anybody's game. The opponent's on the shuffle here, which does make... Oh, that's so strong. Wow. And I look like a complete fool now. Let's try and... Let's see. Can we bring back... Another Goyf pitching... Push... Ponder... Land... Planeswalker... It's now 2/3. Hopefully this Surveil land can help me out a little bit. Ah, that was a brutal sequence. The second plow was so good. And the daze, I guess. The opponent's a daze Riddler deck. Here's Stoneforge. Gonna bury me. Yeah, this game is over now. That was a sweet game. Lots of small decisions, and mine didn't exactly pay off. Shuffling the Murktide, playing Nethergorth into daze, having my own daze. Didn't exactly work out. Do I want to draw Tamiyo, or do I think that is not going to do it? The Tamiyo makes it so my opponent cannot attack with the Riddler. Maybe that's going to be fine. So leave that on top. Daze back the Surveil land. The opponent has Lion Sash and 3 unknowns in hand. I think I'm in big trouble. I don't want to be in big trouble. So let's play Tamiyo. If I get forced, I grow the Nethergorth. We'll just play the Surveil land. I grow the Nethergorth. Let's play the Brazen. It's known information. If it gets dazed, I grow the Nethergorth. That type of logic. So now my opponent's at 10, and this is a little bit of a stalemate because of the Tamiyo, and I guess my opponent being behind on life. So now the opponent can activate Stoneforge and activate Lion Sash, which is, you know, not good when I'm trying to use my graveyard. I think this game is slowly but surely running through my hands. I got blown out a few times. My gambles didn't work. And the opponent, the ace up my sleeve, the Kaito thing was severely trumped by Philia plus Riddler. I think this card threw me off. Yeah. That was the one. Because once I saw that card, or here's even Murktide. Wow, the opponent has a lot of cards in the deck that I surely couldn't fit in the deck. Let me put it that way. Fatal Push is a good one. I feel like I should attack with everybody here, draw a card with Tamiyo. Let's see what this is. That's Force of Will. Now the opponent can eat a creature. Which one are they going to eat? Probably going to eat the Brazen, but I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. So Brazen is dead. Opponent takes 3. I kill the Lion Sash. I'm facing Riddler and Murktide. This is unthinkable to win, but let's play until the bitter end here. Let's pass the turn. Let's see if there's any other equipment. There isn't. In general, all of these, let's say, this is not really a control deck, right? But it's like a bigger blue deck. Like Beans, Stoneforge decks. These are generally bad news, even, Jeskai Wizards decks. So if these are trending upwards, Dimir tempo is not where you want to be. Let's see here. Opponent gets in for a 12. And here comes, yeah, I must say, I'm impressed the opponent could fit all of these cards. They played Daze, Teferi, Stoneforge package, Riddler stuff. That's really a lot of things. So, can I do anything here? I can't. I could kill the Teferi and I have one blocker. So I need to clue into exactly what. I don't think it does anything. Nope. Let's see. Storm Chaser's Talent. Teferi. There's a lot of cards I can't fit in my blue-white deck, that's for sure. So maybe that makes it very hard to play against. So I want these 5 cards. And it looked like my opponent was very good at playing around Daze, which is not something I like. Maybe I still need Daze. Maybe Daze is just better than Force. Wouldn't mind drawing Hymn against that deck. Yeah, I think this is fine. I could... No, this is great. Let's try this out. Okay. Well played by my opponent. They outclassed me from the get-go. I thought I had some decent lines. The opponent had good lines. So, yeah, down a game. So what would the opponent upgrade with here? Maybe like, I don't know, Magic Ending, Celestial Purge maybe. I think mainly they can keep their plan and be very happy. Dang, connecting with Kaito against the blue deck and then just getting crushed so fast. That's not what this says in the script. It says in the script that Kaito is supposed to take over the game. All right. So turn 2 Hymn to Torque is pretty cool. Let's play turn 1 Ponder to keep the engine running. I'll be playing off of dual lands. And I'll probably prioritize land number 3 on the Ponder. Wasteland Hedge and just in general getting closer to Kaito and Goyfs. Turn 1 Ponder. These cards are decent, but they're not lands. So now, am I interested in drawing these? So Ponder is clunky. You might as well shuffle. Bowmaster is solid. This one is clunky as well. So this is an annoying triple spell shuffle that will inevitably tip off my opponent that my mana base is not ideal. Also, I have to think about the fact my opponent's deck could be a Stifle deck, but maybe the Storm Chaser's Talent took the place of the Stifle. Here's Tamiyo, a card I can kill with Fatal Push. So now comes the question, do I want to get dazed on the Fatal Push? I should probably play like this, where I go land. Yeah, I really don't want to get dazed, but it's a little bit of a cost that I'm casting Ponder second here. So now if I have a 1 good card, 2 bad cards Ponder, I can't, shuffle those. Maybe these cards are just bad. Another triple spell Ponder that is a little bit bad because I have to, spend mana to get anywhere. Another Ponder shuffle. It's also because the Hymn is very mana intensive. That is really good, unfortunately. Caracas to pay for days and protect the Tamiyo. That's so good. And here's the second days to laugh in my face. So let's hymn our opponent and wasteland the Caracas. So now the game is, you know, Tamiyo is just obsoleting him to Torek here. So normally I would be in a good spot, but uncontested Tamiyo is still very, very strong. That obviously goes for my deck as well, right? My opponent just happened to have it. I will daze here. I think this is a, you know, desperado situation. I don't think they have the next land. Okay, but they didn't, so that gives us a chance here. I draw my own Tamiyo. I was actually gonna bounce this one, but I think this is slightly better. I think if my opponent misses land here, I like my spot because I can kind of get going with my clues before my opponent. I will daze another cantrip here if I have to. All right, so pendulum swinging back in my direction here. Now comes the question, should I... Yeah, I should draw. I'm not sure I needed to do it there, but I'm supposed to draw here. Yeah, I think I should just have held up the mana here to make them think about Bowmasters. That was not a good crack. I was in mirror mode there. So here's talent. And now I assume my opponent's going to attack. No, they're going to respect Kaito. Wow. That's cool. Kill Tamiyo. Petty theft that card. And try and set up the Kaito. Here's white mana, so Tamiyo is now dead. But I have, you know, Brazen Borrower. I draw land, I slam the Kaito. Here's Kaito. Now I have to decide what to do. Good Surveil. Yeah, I think I just want card quality here. Another Goyf is fine. Let's draw that card. And now... let's see what the opponent can do. This could be Teferi or Murktide. Quantum Riddler. I don't think they would have a card in the deck that lets it stay in play. But I guess Stifle would be that card. Alright. Let's start the Kaito attack. This time I like my spot fairly a lot better than last time. Yeah, sure. Tamiyo looks great. Let's play Tamiyo. I could actually flip this Tamiyo. So let's see, I drew a card for turn, drew a card here. So I'm supposed to play Goyf first. As of days. Crack Clue. And now I'm trying to just pressure my opponent on as many angles as possible. Tap land to set up my next draw step. Is this card better than a random draw? Okay, so Very, very impressive no attack with the Tameo here from the opponent. That they're kind of anticipating Kaito. Thankfully, I drew good tools to, you know, make that a reality for me anyway. I was very scared when the opponent had the second Tameo with the Caracas, but yeah, they bricked on lands. I got to daze a few spells, and yeah, there we go. So now, is daze better than consigned memory? Consigned memory, I think, has decent utility against a Stoneforge Failure deck, but it's gonna be, you know, my least impressive card, no matter how you slice it. All right, we force a game 3. I was able to force my engine in game 2, and I got crushed by the opponent's engine in game 1. So there's that. Don't Tameo me, bro. That card is just, it demands a lot, right? You play Tameo. If the opponent kills it, you know, they're so relieved, but in reality, they didn't really accomplish anything, right? They just reached back to parity, essentially. Turn 1 Ponder. I draw Tameo. That is amazing. So now I have to change my land drop, because I need to cast turn 2 him, most likely. King Tameo here. It's really good, because if it sticks, great. If it gets killed, the opponent is kind of, their development is stifled a little bit. It's very hard for the opponent to find the wasteland here, as in, you know, to find the play, right? Let Tameo stay in play. Okay, they play their own Tameo. So now I should probably Edict. That feels so bad. Because Edict will get countered by Brainstorm. Edict will get countered by Brainstorm. Can I find a better spot here? Where I go something like Nether Goyf, Ponder, Nether Goyf, Ponder, and I try and, you know, get my opponent to flip the Tameo. Let's see. This is a tough one, where I could easily be giving Brainstorm too much respect, or I could look like a genius right about soon. Wow, many shuffled Ponders these games. That's not ideal. Also, again, these hymns look a little bit shaky, but hopefully they can be good later. I want my opponent to either flip that Tameo or to, like, tap down so I can Edict the Tameo. Okay, so good read here. And now my Sheldred's Edict is super good. Let's see. Here's Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, that's the annoying part. Let's see. I need to kill the Tameo. That's just how it works. Cryptic Coat. Interesting. So now sacrifice a Planeswalker. Double days is a thing, I guess. But I need to ask this question. And then see if this resolves or not. It resolves. That card is dead. So it's not that I want to get dazed, but I think I have to. And I think it's good to play pre-combat here so that if I do get dazed, I have more damage. So nice attack with the Nether Goyf here. I forgot about the minus. The opponent should just block here, not outthink themselves. No fetch land in the rotation here, no bauble, so poorly sized Goyfs. Let's see. This could be a dangerous turn. I kind of need to start hymning my opponent here. They pass consigned memory is somewhat live. Okay, that's totally fine. I think I need to cast Hymn to Torque first here to see what's going on the side of my opponent. All right, let's see what this is. Batter Skull. So I'm going to consign to memory the living weapon. And then my opponent's going to lose 2 cards. And then I'm going to get in for damage. If my opponent finds line number 5, though, then the skull is on. Because of, you know, activate Stoneforge. Return Batter Skull to hand. That kind of old school Death and Taxes shenanigans. I have a million clues, but not necessarily the window to crack them. Wasteland. Now the opponent has the Batter Skull back online. But I mean, all it takes is me to put like an instant and a land to the graveyard. Okay. So the opponent doesn't want any shenanigans. They just, you know. Oh, they do. Oh, interesting. Brainstorm. A fantastic draw. Absolutely fantastic draw. So let's go to combat. Then Brainstorm flip. I will have to deal with the Batter Skull, though. Let's see what Brainstorm can do in this spot. Fetch land. Maybe Hymn is not good anymore. Hymn does take care of my opponent's last card, so maybe that's solid. Is that better than advancing my own plan? I don't think it is. So let's do it like this. Oh. Oh, it's not. Darn. The Nethergrowth will not be big enough here. Well, I guess it's still fine because of the minus on Tamiyo. Let's see if I can find something cool here. These cards are insane. Wow, these cards are so good. So now, how do I play Magic the Gathering? Fatal Push the Stoneforge. I think that's it. All right, so I'm stabilized here with Tamiyo ticking up. Even if my opponent has the removal, they cannot kill the Tamiyo, so it's going to soak a lot of damage. My opponent's going to gain 3 here. Wasteland. Yeah, good call on cracking the clue. Trying to find out if this Wasteland is better as a mana source. Ooh, another Stoneforge Mystic. That's so good. So now, let's see. How do I play Magic the Gathering? I think... Ooh, a Talent even. Okay, lots of annoying stuff here. I can bring back Fatal Push. Which I think I should do. My next card is Orcish Bowmasters, which is good against the Otter. Mm. Let's think. The opponent has Lion Sash in hand. What if I bounce the Stoneforge, him to Torx out of the graveyard? Nope. Then Germ is going to be bigger than Nether Goyf. Okay, I feel like this is kind of crunch time. Lion Sash. That card is super annoying. Return Fatal Push. Am I supposed to kill Stoneforge? Ah! Next card's Orcish Bowmasters. That is pretty good. The Lion Sash is going to be... Okay. Let's try and pass here. I'm really not sure about this. Then I have to bounce the Germ. Okay. Magic's a hard game. So maybe I can bounce the Germ, crack a clue. I kind of need to give my opponent the idea that this Tamiyo is like what the game is about. Let's see what that means. Okay, the opponent's just going to do that. I am going to Petty Theft before blocks so that if my opponent just drew Force of Will, I believe now there's a creature in the graveyard and I eat the skull, right? They drew that card. I will not pay. And now I can eat the skull. So, pretty ideal situation here. Oh, shoot. Okay. I forgot about the sash. Magic the Gathering is so hard. So now I need to push this card, I think. Seems like I'm getting grinded out here. Maybe I missed... Did I miss the mark at some point? Not sure about that. I'm drawing Bowmasters, which kills the Otter, but... reconfigures onto that card. That's cool, because now it doesn't... now it doesn't die to Bowmasters. I cannot push the sash. Lots of good cards. So what can I do here? So what happens now? Tamiyo brings back push. It's tough when the opponent has all of that mana. What happens if I Kaito onto the Otter? Then I'll have to chum block. I think that's kind of bad. I think the way to win this game is with Tamiyo. But I'm really not sure. It always seems to get these games in the first round, which is so cool. Also, funnily enough, when I don't record for a week or so, it's for me, it's not like riding a bike. I'm struggling here trying to put together my thoughts and playing the game at a reasonable level, which is really funny. Yeah, this is gonna protect the queen here. Also, I have to remember that Lion Sash has my graveyard under lock. I need to remember what this is. Okay, that's a problem. They're gonna bring back Celestial Purge. Killing the Goyf. Mm-hmm. Let's play Bowmasters. Being the opponent. Draw a card. Block with the token. I need to draw speed bumps upon speed bumps here and get to Tameo. Fatal Push is speed bump. So what I could do here is push the Stone Forge, then Kaito, then shut this down. Problem is you can unattach. So I could also cash in the Tameo here. Push, push. Leave the otter, I guess. 2, 3, 7. Ah, this game is so hard. Why is it so hard? So push, push. Shut down. Push. Let's see how this works. What if I just hardcast Kaito here to make this tapped? Ah, magic's too hard. I could return a Fatal Push to kill the otter, but then there's still the Lion Sash. Kill that. Kaito. Keep the Lion Sash tapped. The alternative. Play Kaito. Do that. Keep a blocker. This is now at 5. Okay. Magic's too hard. Magic the Gathering is too hard. And I'm trying to get to the promised land with -7 on Tameo before the dust settles. So now the opponent can also equip here to gain 1,000,000 life if they want to. They're just going to force the jump. They're trying to attack Kaito dead. What does that mean? Tameo. Problem is, Tameo can wear a batter skull. I need to find something now. One more speed bump card. Which is really funny. Snuff Out is indeed a speed bump card. Wow, that's sick. That is absolutely sickening. So attack with Kaito. Let's see. Stun the Tamio, kill the thing. I think that's better. Stun the Tamio. Draw. Draw. Plus. Kill that thing. Play Tamio. Get ready to draw next turn. What a sick game. What a sick game. So now the opponent needs something really good here, to say the least. They did not return the Batter Skull, worth noting. Wow. I did not expect to win that game, but I did find Sure, buddy. I did find what needed to happen in order to win it, which was pretty cool. So sometimes you get there and sometimes you don't. This was all about the speed bumps in the Tamio at some point. Wow, what an insane match to start off the video. Let's see if we can get even close to this quality in the next ones. Guys, 4 seasons and I have great plan for 2026. I present you my own tournament series. It's going to consist of 4 Eco Championship qualifiers throughout the year. Here are the details. Here's the entry fee. It's going to be free for all members over on MetaFi. Hundreds of Chester chests, 2 4 seasons main event tickets up for grabs, or you can cash them in for chests if you don't plan on going to the event. And the top 8 of each of these will qualify for the Eco Championship, the end of year finals, which will be a 32-player event. Here are all the details. Of course, going to be free entry if you won your slot. There's going to be 1,000 treasure chests in total. You're going to be winning your own championship playmat with artwork by Adriano Kitani. You'll make it in collaboration with Adriano. Adriano does beautiful art on my channel here. I will pay for 4 high-quality playmats so you can play with your own trophy playmat after winning. And then the top 8 from this tournament will qualify for the following year's championship, which will then be a 40-player tournament. So yeah, I'm very excited for 2026, and I hope to see you over there on MetaFi to take part in this awesome tournament series. Thank you to 4 Seasons for sponsoring this. All right, more Magic the Gathering coming your way here. I'm playing Dimir Tempo. I'm on the draw, and I do like my Thoughtseize Hymn opener. Ooh, especially when my opponent does nothing on turn 1. So I guess we're playing against Eldrazi. The deck will frequently have these bridge turns. Can we take away our opponent's Thought Knotseer here, or set up a good daze? Maybe both? K command. Just to no. Oh, never mind. Okay, so I like this a lot more, I think. Probably playing against Blue Post or Show and Tell, of course. So hopefully I get to take away my opponent's 3-drop, get to hymn them, and then daze their 4-drop. That's kind of the... Yeah, let's take stock up because daze is more alive against the One Ring later. It's annoying to daze this early, so... Oh, shoot. Well, I guess this is good for me. In the grand scheme of things. My opponent's remaining cards are those. Daze. Thankfully, that was not a force of will. If it was, the game was over. So there's that. Play land, set up for surveil. The opponent can now hard cast force onto him. But will they prioritize that? I feel like they will ponder now. It's very hard to be like, oh yeah, I might get himmed, so this hard cast negation should be good. Absolute best draw for me now is Force of Will or Wasteland. There's an expiration date on the Force of Will because the Mistral Village. Rise Village. So my opponent's best draw here is Stock Up, because then that will force me to daze again, which is annoying. Hopefully they go for like half of a show and tell Atraxa situation, and I can cook them with him to Torok. Sewers, Nether Goyf. I don't think I need that card. I should aim higher, because I already have a Murktide in hand. Fatal Push is atrocious. Him to Torok here is amazing. Let's hope they get left with the negation. I guess they could just decide themselves here. If they have a spare blue card and they like the other card better than Force of Negation, they should do it. So I guess I'm secretly cheering for them to have either half of a show and tell combo or the One Ring that gets eat by days, but it's a very dangerous game if it's exactly One Ring. Cunning Wish getting pitched, sure. All right, so we got to eat those cards, and now don't do it to me, buddy. Okay, they didn't do it to me. So they're I would guess their last card is either Show and Tell or Atraxa with the way they played. I'm a champ. That was so good. Oh my god. Okay, Fatal Push is absolutely trash, and I want to get my opponent dead here. Does that mean Tamiyo has to go? I think it does. Okay, so I now have to finish the game before my opponent gets to Show and Tell with, you know, Village backup. Here's Murktide. The opponent has randomly drawn a daze. I will have to force it. I enter Genesis with one card in hand. So ironically, I think that's fine, because my opponent needs to connect the Show and Tell Atraxa, and they need enough mana, and I don't think they're in a position to do that. So that card is just an impulse, essentially. Pass. 6/6, is that good stats? It's decent. Could have been better. 7/7 would have been awesome. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm doing it to the opponent. Getting to daze here is nightmare. Nightmare fuel for the opponent. Also note that now they cannot use their tomb any more than they're dead next turn. Sure. Brainstorm. All right, we got to have 3 successful dazes. No, 2. Yeah, 2. Stock Up is not gonna resolve, buddy. And then I'm gonna kill you with this Murktide regen. So let's pitch the force. In theory, this daze is live. All right, next game. We drew the nuts against Show and Tell. Very impressive. So these cards are good. So are 2 consigns. Funnily enough, I actually really like the number 2 against this deck, because it's probably a heavy One Ring deck. And I think countering petals, you know, I would do that. So let's see here. I want these 5 cards no matter what. Now I need to cut 1 Magic the Gathering card. Is that Brazen Borrower? I think that very well could be Brazen Borrower. So what's my blue count after all of this jazz? It's 17 and 11, 28. That's pretty darn strong. So what I could do is cut a land against the deck like that, but I think they actually showed quite a hefty number of non-basics. If they are like super basic land heavy and you expect carpet and all of that, you can start trimming on wasteland. I don't mind that. All right, this hand is great. You can choose between turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 1 Tamiyo. I will have to note that my opponent was the green version, so Veil of Summer could be in my future. Tapland, turn 1. So ooh, opponent. That is a big sign of weakness. I'm gonna try and pounce on that weakness. Let's see if it works out. Land an atrocious draw here for me, by the way. Let's see. Milling over a spell, turn 1 with your Surveil land. Nice draw, nice draw. All right, let's see the 7 spells. City of Traders. Yeah, sure. So it looks like I should actually take Lorien Revealed, because that is an avenue to lands. And all of these cards are like, they don't really do all that much. Yeah, that's super unexciting, but I mean, you put a Mr. Land drop. So of course Thoughtseize is going to be terrible. I think I'll have to consider which route to take here. Is it better to, you know, get the engine started one way or the other? Tamiyo's just so good. Yeah. Let's understand this. If I play Tamiyo now, I Surveil, I kind of need to get to the next blue card to have forced blue card days. Then next turn, do I draw or do I Bowmaster? I probably Bowmaster, and then the turn after I can crack 2 clues. So I think this is fine. So obviously I have insane working conditions here, but I think it's very important to... Oh, let's see what this is. This could be engineered explosives. I'll be fine with that. Brainstorm. That card is pretty good. All right, it looks like the opponent is successfully into the game. So this is a good situation because right now I look like a fool. So assuming the opponent is smart, well, first of all, they should draw the island, right? But you could use the argument that if they don't draw the island, the world's my oyster. Most lines are going to get over the line, right? So I should assume they do draw the island, and then I should assume that they play super well and make this timing on the brainstorm because of this being a Bowmaster matchup, right? So there's a lot of things here that's worth reconsidering. Obviously, having a Tamiyo in play and some, you know, some counters is going to be great in this spot, right? But there's a chance I could have done better. And the opponent could start jamming on, you know, must counters next turn. They just need like a pedal or a Force of Will or something and a land, some combination to crush me. So I think it's pivotal that I get to my blue card here. And then the theory is Tamiyo keeps the engine running so that I can bury my opponent in disruption, like find the hymn and what have you. All right, get rid of the land is awesome. Draw him. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Hymn to Torag is great here. They lose one ring in Ancient Tomb. Wow. I think getting rid of Ancient Tomb there was good. Got the first clue out of Tamiyo. Now, worth noting is the opponent can, you know, suited traders, kill the Tamiyo. I would accept that, actually. They're not going to do that. It looks like a Planar Genesis turn. Oh, never mind. Okay. Yeah, this is totally reasonable. But now I can, if I want to, I can flip the Tamiyo, but that doesn't make sense, right? Still dies to explosives. So now what? Passing the turn, I think, is the move. Is that true, though? What happens if I slam Murktide Regent? I think I keep my opponent busy in a nice way, but the thing is, has the ship sailed for 4 days? Two things in the yard to grow the Merc. Yeah, I'm going to pass here. Let's see how that works out for me. I'm going to slam the Bowmaster here after the opponent has made the survey. Oh, never mind. So I'll do that now, I think. Let's just do it now. You know, if the opponent has another brainstorm or what have you, I think this is decent timing. So now, will the opponent spend their turn to wipe the board? Then I start cracking clues. Third land here. Emrakul, Planar Genesis, City Trader is one unknown. If that was a show and tell, they would have played City to play around days. I am gonna crack a clue. Another days. Another days. Okay. I guess it's murky time. They should crack here. So now, yes, getting rid of that one. Attacking for a couple. Let's just slam the Merc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not gonna fight over it. Let the opponent play. So triple days. So days is the first pitch, and then double days is maybe a counter. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Yeah. So here's double days being a hard counter. Pretty darn strong. Then I'm going to crack a clue and attack for 7. I would love to get forced here. I don't get forced. Draw a brick. Can we find one more damage? Consigned to memory. Attack for 7. The opponent has Planar Genesis, Emrakul. 2 unknowns. We're getting close here. Show and tell. I will pitch Consigned to Memory because it looks like the opponent might want to Planar Genesis in response here. Let's see if I'm right about that. Planar Genesis in response. Let's see. Look at top 4. Apt. So this resolves. I should have dazed here. That was bad. Yeah, I should have dazed here. Now there's some kind of chance for the opponent, and this might be a dead card. This was bad. Yeah. I gave my opponent the chance to, you know, go to 1 and have something going on here. That was not smart. All right, we got the job done here against Show and Tell, showcasing the power of playing with information, anticipating the opponent's next moves, and of course, good old him to Torak. That's a sweet one. Let's play one more before we wrap up. All right, match number 3. I play first with my Dimir tempo deck. This hand really needs my opponent to be some kind of creature deck, otherwise I'm in trouble. Now the question becomes, am I slow rolling this bauble? I think I am. Slow rolling as in, you know, see what the opponent's playing, then make my decision. So I'll probably go Delta so I can look like a Delver deck. I'll play Bloodstainmire. The opponent knows I'm not a Delver deck. And it's very rarely gonna matter in game 1 situations. You know, in theory, Polluted Delta is the better fetch lane because it can get both basics, right? Let's see. The opponent's considering life situations. Let's talk a little bit more about my decision here. So by letting my opponent have a turn, I know what to do with my Bauble. I know what to do with my Surveil, right? So let's say they are a confirmed creature deck, then I can bubble my own library. If I see Force of Will or Daze or what have you, I can, you know, shuffle it away. And vice versa. So, and then of course, there's always just exceptions to all of the rules, but if I can delay my, you know, filtering decisions to have more info, I think that's great. But also sometimes you just have to play your stuff out on curve. Let's say I needed to tap out the first 3 turns, right? It's not worth slowing yourself down for stuff like that. So it's mainly when it's possible, you know, that's the way you can play. Let's see if the opponent is there. You can theoretically just, you know, search for your next league match, go make a sandwich, and, you know. Let's play out Bauble. Also, there's like a tiny benefit of if I get Thoughtseize to have 1 less card for the opponent to look at, but, you know, that's a little bit minor. Tundra. Okay, Tundra Gaming, very popular these days. So I'm just going to assume that this is like some Thalia, Stoneforge type of deck. So yeah, I'm going to play with that in mind for sure. Let's see what I'm working with. Brainstorm, that is for sure better than a random card. So let's just draw that. Draw. Let's try a good old target the shuffled ponder, kill a duel. Try and free roll. Okay, that's awesome. For me, that goes without saying. So let's see if we can, because our hand is, you know, not the best. We do need some help here. Let's see if we can get it. Force of Will. But funnily enough, I don't think that card is gonna do it. I want like threats, Tameo, Bowmasters, Kaito, all of that jazz. I am gonna play Orcish Bowmasters out now. And then this Brainstorm is gonna be awesome, right? Because it's gonna fix my land spill situation. Meticulous Archive is the worst draw for the opponent that they don't know is terrible because of my Brainstorm, essentially. Thoughtseize could be playable. Let's Brainstorm. Ooh, I love to see this. So now I am gonna Wasteland and play a creature, and I think that should be Tameo. I'm just gonna put back Thoughtseize. So the games where the opponent doesn't make their land drops, or you can argue they're not as interesting, but they're interesting because yeah, nice Wasteland, buddy. They're interesting because we can kind of connect the dots, right? So it's more just being able to pounce on situations. That's the biggest one. So is there any chance that we will get our opponent to Wasteland on combat here? Is there any chance? I mean, we should probably try and play towards it. Oh, I should have fetched one before. Yeah, I'm just clowning here. That was atrocious. All right, let's Thoughtseize and play another Goyf. Okay, so the opponent is confirmed on that deck. Perfect. So what would the opponent need to draw to win this game? It probably has to do with Stoneforge Mystic. Let's take that card out of the equation. Play another Goyf. 4 or 5. And we should be going to a sideboard game shortly. Okay. Caracas does bounce Tameo. But maybe the opponent needs to plow here. Hmm. All right, let's try an attack here. Caracas, that is fine. Attack for 6. And then I want the Brazen Borrower on end step. I will play out the Tameo to kind of Rashad and port my opponent. All right, we got lucky there. We got a little bit lucky, but, you know, we also pounced on it. So, scoreboard. All right, let's have a think about this. We like a lot of these cards. And then we probably don't like a lot of these cards. All right, let's try and play the game. We did see that the opponent's a Stifle version. So that is good to know. We did not learn anything about this Stoneforge package, because sometimes it's like Cryptic Code, sometimes it's Batterskull, sometimes it's Lion Sash. The Meteor Sword is, you know, the go big or go home option. It's very possible you can trim a Wasteland in this matchup. I might do that on the play, trim a single Wasteland for a single days, try and get lucky. All right. This hand is certainly not great, but can do some stuff. It's very weak to turn 1 Tameo. Turn 1 Tameo it is. Fatal Push. Snuff out. Something. What happens if I go basic Swamp Nether Goyf? It's not exciting, but, you know, gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. And then I'm gonna try and use Orcish Bowmasters as my quote-unquote hate bear. But yeah, we're really on the back foot here. That deck, the blue-white deck, is basically a deck because it keeps, you know, presenting must-kill threats. Like Stoneforge has to die, Tameo has to die, Philia has to die, right? So I really like the deck. Switch to Plowshares onto that one. That's fine. Great draw. What am I going to do about it? Tameo. Really want to wasteland this card, but why did the opponent plow that turn? Let's try and understand that. Why did they plow a 1-2? Is this where I'm supposed to smell more blood in the water? Hmm. Nah, let's see. Orcish Bowmasters forces my opponent to have either Daze or Second Plow, which they very well may not have. All right, let's try and slam the Bowmaster off of basics, give the opponent one more turn of white mana. Which is also scary, because I'm soft to whatever comes out of that white mana. Yeah, Tamiyo just forces your opponent to go off balance. So here it's like, play turn 1 Tamiyo versus me, like, oh, wow. Okay, so the opponent knows that that is kind of the path to victory, is to leverage those clues, because they might have mana issues as well, right? Ooh, crazy draw here. Crazy draw here from the Ron. Okay, let's learn about my opponent's... Wait a minute. Can I do anything smart here? I think I can, because they play Stifle. What happens if I Stifle, then I dispute it? So let's see, can I do anything sick here? What happens if I go Upkeep, play, waste the Caracas. If they Stifle a Dispute, that steals their mana for the turn, then I kill the Tamiyo. That would be pretty darn sick. What's the cost? It's getting this going a turn later, but I think that's decent. What's the punish? I think the punish is end of turn failure, which I might have to snuff out if that's the case. Okay, we got through this. That was cool. So now let's see if we can get stifled. Dispute. Perfect timing here. Now this land is dead, and I get to snuff out that card. That worked out super nicely. The opponent is now tapped down. They do draw the land here, which is great for them, no doubt. Murktide Regent. That's a 5/5 right there. If I play the land, I can get wasted. All right, Magic's a sweet game. So now, since I'm kind of ahead on board, I'm not exactly inviting Wasteland. I think there's a very high probability Wasteland is not going to get activated here. Even if they draw it, I think it's going to become a clue tapper. Third land. Yeah, I mean, they have some scary plays. Some of them is covered by Brazen, but certainly not all. And they have some clues in the bank, so I need this to survive, turn the corner, and then try and out-resource them, because... Okay, that's not going to happen. Fair enough. Well played. Maybe I'm trying to race here. We put it with one card. There's a land. So... what I could do here is try and surveil, but I actually don't think that's good. I think this is better, because I'm holding up the petty theft. And I think if my opponent has Stifle in hand, I mean, we take those. I think that's reasonable. Maybe if the opponent cracks Clue here, I'm supposed to surveil. Or is there a chance I need to bounce before my turn? I think there's a chance. Okay, let's pass. Another sick match here, by the way. Okay. Could have bounced a clue here. Wouldn't be terrible. But the thing is, I think my opponent's a Murktide Region deck. Here's Wasteland. And since they're a Murktide Region deck, I will just look super silly if I don't have an answer for it. Here's Surveilling into Tamiyo. That's for sure better than a random card. Let's get in for 5, play Tamiyo. This is no dog end of turn. Wow, okay. So maybe this is like 5th land Quantum Riddler? It's not. Prismatic Ending onto the Tamiyo. Yeah, I mean, this is fine while I am currently, quote-unquote, winning the game. What's the follow-up? The follow-up is Stoneforge Mystic. With 1 card left. And they did not wasteland me beforehand. Let's see if I can go for the gold here. Because the math adds up somewhat nicely. Okay, now I think I will bounce the Stoneforge because... Wait a minute. If I end-step Borrower, attack my opponent to 3, they need to draw a live card. What happens if I bounce it, attack my opponent to 6? It just looks like it's almost the same. But maybe the fact that 5 + 5 off of Merc. Let's see. Bounce, attack my opponent to 6. Alright. Let's try and bounce. This is very close margins. Oh my god. Him to Torok. The problem is him to Torok is not winning me the game the same way. I'm gonna do it, I think. It's a little bit painful, but it plays a little bit better against my opponent drawing a chum blocker and what have you. Okay, last card is Stoneforge Mystic. I'm gonna attack my opponent to 1, play another one. So I wonder what kind of card they have now. Formal Wear. Okay. Formal Wear into Tamiyo has a 2/5, so I guess that's decent for me. The reason why... Oh, wow. Not good enough, unfortunately. The reason why I like this spot was if I get my opponent to 1, Orcish Bowmasters is now lethal. They are willing to go to 1. I think I'm just supposed to play this card out now and not get, you know, Random Dispute or Force of Will off the top. Tamiyo. Now the opponent's going to draw a card, and then we have this little bit of eye-staring contest where Source of Plowshares kind of crushes me. Got it, opponent. Nice one, nice one. I don't think I can play the Merc here as a 4. Maybe I have to, otherwise the Tamiyo is just going to eat me. I think I found a way to lose this game. I don't enjoy that. So, if I don't get tempted by the hymn... Oh, wow. Was this double days? Or just returning the land? Okay. If I don't play the hymn, I win the game, but obviously I have no idea of knowing that, so that was super rough. That was really, really rough. What? No, opponent, at least make me attack here. But yeah, 2 flyers. I mean, I'll probably attack here, but, you know, let's see. Yeah, Bowmaster's lethal as well. All right. So we ended up getting there against a couple of blue-white decks. I feel like, to be honest, I could have easily 0-3'd this video. Maybe not 0-3, maybe 1-2, but, you know, sometimes you get over the finish line, sometimes you don't. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really liked some of the spots I got to showcase here. Dimir Tempo, still the real deal. If you want the guide, you know where to find it, over on my Metafy, where I have a ton of guides, ton of guest guides, and I'm going to be hosting awesome tournaments in the next year, so no better time than now to become a Baron. Guys, thanks so much for watching as always. Thank you to Four Seasons for sponsoring my adventures, and yeah, I hope to see you back soon on the channel.